What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and iOS 9 is right around the corner. We have 1 week until its release on June 8th, the beta version, and we have so much to look forward to. So in this video, I want to talk about new features found in iOS 9. So I'm going to be talking about some of the new and exciting features Apple's bringing to the table for the next version of iOS, and these are all based off of reports by trusted sources. So it's very likely we will see most of these. Now, something I was shocked by reading these reports, all Apple A5 devices will keep iOS 9 support. So that includes the iPhone 4S, the iPod Touch 5th generation, and the original iPad mini. That's really shocking, and it makes sense because Apple didn't really leave them on a good note with iOS 8. They're still slow and buggy, and iOS 9 is going to be centered all around system stability and optimization. Really good call, Apple. I really hope you pull through with it. It's not 100% confirmed, but it would make sense and it would be a bold move for Apple. So, on first visual inspection, iOS 9 will not differ greatly from iOS 8. You'll be hard-pressed to notice any major changes. However, there will be a certain amount of smaller ones because iOS 9 will be focused on heavy optimization and stability. Apple wants to make the best possible iOS experience for all devices. They didn't really get off well with iOS 8, but they're definitely going to rectify that. I mean, it's just ridiculous how many bugs and crashes and everything was wrong with iOS 8. Apple wants to fix that, and they definitely will with iOS 9. Apple is going to further enhance that system memory optimization with iOS 9. It's quite ridiculous how much memory iOS takes up as a whole. It steals so much gigabytes from your device, so iOS 9 is going to remedy that. It's going to be a lot faster and fluid too. And not to mention this whole rootless thing, which could make jailbreaking impossible. I mean, security is going to be a lot better, but jailbreakers might have to say goodbye to jailbreaking as a whole, and that's something I hope never happens. Now, Siri is going to see a major overhaul, not only in terms of functionality, but also in looks. The Apple Watch Siri user interface is probably what we're going to see on iOS 9. Now, Siri is going to learn a bunch of new tricks in iOS 9. It'll have limited offline capability. A lot of people are frustrated that it doesn't exist yet. It's going to be proactive, which means it's going to be deeply infused with all the applications on your device, primarily contacts, maps, and the calendar and the passbooks. So you're going to be able to ask it a bunch of new things, and it's going to have a lot more input. Now, Apple went out and created a new font for their Apple Watch. It's called San Francisco. iOS 9 will be receiving this font. You can see on the left, on the right, we have the standard Helvetica New. So it's a little bit thinner, a little bit more compact. I don't personally like it, but it seems like a modern, fresh, and crisp font. Apple will be making some changes to the keyboard. The new keyboard on iOS 9 will be slightly taller, so it will allow for more accurate input. It will also have more functionality in landscape mode. It's a little bit limited, so that's definitely a nice change. And oh man, finally, in iOS 9, when you click that shift button, finally, all of the characters will shift alongside with it just like that. I cannot believe it hasn't been done before, but it's about time Apple has finally added this to iOS 9. Now, here's a feature I'm showing you guys on my iPhone, and that's split screen multitasking. This is going to be one of the biggest points of iOS 9. Now, I don't know how true it is that it's going to be limited to the iPads, but that's the news that's going around, and I sincerely hope Apple brings this to the iPhone, especially the 6 Plus. It just makes sense. Why wouldn't they? Definitely expect it on iPads though. Now, another feature that could be limited to iPads is a dedicated guest mode or user accounts. So something that's extremely useful if you share your device, iPads. A lot of people use the same one, especially kids. So it's really cool to have different accounts and be able to choose from the functionality, the apps that you can limit to that account. Apple Pay is reportedly getting its own user reward system. So just like cashback on popular credit cards, Apple Pay is going to feature a very similar system. Don't know the details yet. And finally, outside of the US support, Canada will be the first country to support Apple Pay. And some nice added smaller functionality to iOS 9 includes filtering who you want to send read receipts to and being able to enable read receipts for iMessage groups. iOS 9 will include an authorization for certain routers, so you won't need to deal with passwords. It'll just authorize automatically, and it'll include a lot of stronger security enhancements to the Wi-Fi. Now, it's been a while since Apple has purchased purchase Beats, and Apple's definitely going to want to do something with it. Now, alongside that awesome music player redesigned in iOS 8.4, iOS 9 will actually replace iTunes Radio or add to it Beats music streaming service. So it's something that they own right now. They own all the exclusive rights to it, and they're definitely going to make use of it, especially in iOS 9. So we could be seeing a redesigned iTunes Radio or Beats music streaming service in iOS 9. HomeKit is set to receive its own dedicated application on your home screen. It's going to organize all of your third-party applications like Philips Hue, all of the stuff to manage your house in one place, as if we didn't have enough of these cluttering applications. Maps on iOS 9 is going to receive a lot of love from Apple. Public transit will be available in some major cities at the start. Apple will add a lot later, but for now it's only in some major cities. Also, reportedly, Maps will receive an augmented reality where you can just point your iPhone at some buildings in a downtown area and it'll tell you everything about that building, that certain business, all that information. Really neat. And of course, iOS 9 is going to be ready for Force Touch. This is reportedly a major feature coming to the new iPhone 6s and 6s Plus, and it's where you press the screen in harder and it allows for extra input. So iOS 9 will allow for extra input when pressing the screen harder in certain areas. We don't have much details, but very exciting. In general, Apple's taking a lot that it's learned from the Apple Watch and adding it to iOS 9 and the new iPhone. Now, when can we expect iOS 9? Well, first off, the beta is always after Worldwide Developers Conference, and that happens to start on June 8th. So we will see a beta on June 8th, just a week from making this video. Now, a final release will be in September, and that'll be roughly before the launch of the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. So it's very soon, right around the corner, guys. It's very exciting. All these new features will totally enhance the experience. iOS 9 will be a culmination of all the refinements and optimizations Apple has been working very hard to achieve with later versions of iOS 8. Although iOS 9 doesn't seem to change anything visually, it does certainly make the experience a lot better from everything we know so far. It's definitely going to be a firmware worth updating too, and I'm so happy Apple is keeping support for A5 devices. Let's hope Apple sticks with that. So thanks for watching this little preview, guys. Hopefully I gave you a little bit of an insight into iOS 9, and of course when that's released in just a week, I'll be covering all of it. I'm showing you how to install it, all the new features and all the cool stuff to come with it. Have a great day. Peace.